Although I had to laugh. I haven't seen so many Scandinavians since our last Eckberg family reunion. I grew up with a grandfather who was a sailor in the Swedish Navy, whose name was Olaf. And I grew up with a dad whose nickname was Oli. Yeah, I don't know if he was a part of any of those stories or not. Making a difference. I didn't know how life is really worth anything if that's not what we are about, if it's not about taking what we are given and investing it wisely. And I hope that we do that. But a lot of times, I remember a few years ago, I went to a retirement village to visit with a woman that I'd known for many, many years, and her husband had just retired from a long life of service in the church, actually. And she was sitting in this nice little comfortable apartment when I got there, and we started to talk, and I could tell she was down, and she just said, you know, I just realized yesterday that I'm just sitting here waiting to die. And I felt badly for her, and I also let that be another of those moments that placed the resolve in my heart that I would not sit and wait to die. I'm going to sing these songs, and I'm going to speak, and I'm going to write. I'm going to do the things that I have the opportunity to do. I keep telling people I may be 95, and you may have to set me up in the corner and prop the guitar in my hands. And I won't be able to remember why I'm there or what I'm doing, but I'm going to do it anyway. But you know what? What better thing? What better thing than that? Well, there's a story that goes back, and I think sometimes as we get a little older, we start to think, well, do I have any value? You know, I can't do the things that I used to do when I was 20 or 30 or 40. You know what? That's true. We can. But there's so much that we can do, and we have a special, special gift that time and experience gives us. The story is about a little town, and the way I heard it originally was a town up in the Northeast. A little town that, like many towns, drew all of its electricity from a power plant located outside of town. And one night, all of the electricity shut down. Every bit of electricity in the town was shut down. And of course, you know how we are now without electricity. 5 minutes without electricity, and we think we're back in the dark ages. And these people felt that way too, and there was a panic that went up, and everybody rushed out. All of the technicians rushed out to the power station to try to find out the source of the problem. And they searched, and they searched, and they did all their analysis with all of their high-tech tools, and they checked everything with the computers, and nobody could find the problem, and the electricity remained off, and the town remained in darkness. Finally, somebody said, you know what? There's an older guy. He must be in his 80s or 90s now, but he lives in a retirement home about 20 miles from here. And he helped build this plant. Maybe he might be able to help us out. The young guys were skeptical, but they said, well, let's go get him and see. And they brought this older man over to the power plant. And he got out of his car, and he had with him just a little hammer. Tiny little hammer. And they said, what do you think you're going to do with that? This is a high-tech power plant. But he goes in, and for the next few hours, he just walks through the plant. And he stops every so often and studies a pipe or a wire or a switch, and he'll tap it with his hammer. He taps again with his hammer. Finally, he taps with his hammer, and the whole power plant comes to life. And the electricity surges out through the wires, and the town is in light again. They take the old man back to the nursing home and thank him. A couple of weeks later, they get a bill. Here's where it gets good. They get a bill from him, and it's for $1,000.02. And it's itemized. And he says, for tapping, 2 cents. For knowing where to tap, $1,000. Isn't that good? Now listen, you guys, you think we're to the end of our lives and you think that we don't have a gift to give the world. You have wisdom and you have experiences, you have knowledge that you have gained through your life. And I want to tell you, we might think that young people don't want to hear us. I can tell you the exact opposite is true. They are longing to have people take an interest in them and share their wisdom and their experience and their knowledge with them. Organizations like this can do that. Other organizations that you may be a part of. Because I'll tell you, two things will happen. Number one, you will be an encouragement to them. You will lift them up. And you will give them a priceless gift that all of the schooling in the world can't give them. And I will guarantee that you will walk with a bounce in your step that you didn't have before. I want to close with this song, and thank you so much for letting me come this evening and be a part of this and to share these songs with you and these stories and to encourage you, I hope, to live life, because life is indeed short and it's valuable, it is precious. Live it with urgency and lift others up.
My soul so weary, when troubles come and my heart burdened be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up more than I can You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be.
Thank you. God bless you.